Thanks for staying with us. We have quite an interesting guest on our right?
Okay. Oh, yeah. So he is a prolific storyteller and producer. He sets up Maturian Media, a film content production company, and Maturian Cinemas. He wrote, produced, and directed The Bag, The Spill, or Drink Show for Envivo TV and was executive producer of the Road to Blow documentary. Welcome to Wake Up Nigeria, sir. It's nice to have you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very good.
Really, really nice and robust. I mean, detailed
profile, right?
Yeah.
I used to be a banker as well.
You used to be a banker.
Yeah.
How did you go from banking and jump into filmmaking? You realize where the real money is?
Nah, quite by accident. There's a lot more money in banking.
Oh.
Well, it's quite by accident, yeah. But that's a whole other story. I wrote a book about it, so I'm about to publish that as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we even had like half of the bio.
Yeah.
So how has it been now, like being in the production, filmmaking, especially in Nigeria? What's the journey been like for you?
It's been really challenging. You know, most of the regular challenges we have, one of which is funding, which everybody talks about all the time, but I don't think that's the real problem. There's also the problem of people, the skills, which I'm going to talk about later, because I think that's also a bit of a misconception. You know, if you treat people well, you pay people well, there are people in Nigeria who will do work at an international level. Yeah.
Okay.
So in terms of problems, in terms of challenges, yes, locations, you know, getting the right setup to do the kind of work you want, and then people being limited by the environment, general environment of the country, and how difficult it is to do business generally. And then this runaway inflation that we're having this year, for example. So between when we made this film and today, prices, cost of things have easily 4 or 5 times. Yes. I wrote another film I wanted to shoot next month. Between August and now, you know, there's been a 50% increase in cost of production. Wow. Yeah, so those are some of the kind of challenges where it's a bit difficult to plan, you know, and that affects every aspect of production in Nigeria. Yeah. Same as every business, whether you're doing agribusiness, whether you're doing, whether you're importing hair, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about how, you know, the prices of things the increase, inflation has affected things.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the intricacies with, you know, budget, for example, for production, then budget for cast members, right?
Yeah.
Which would be a priority for you in terms of which would you give more attention to in terms of funding? Because you made reference to that in the beginning when you talked about how, you know, how it's also going to affect monies being paid or fees being paid to actors, and, you know, and how it affects their performances.
Okay, so I'll look at it from another perspective, right? I look at it from the story perspective.
Okay.
Okay, there are certain stories that are location heavy. There are certain stories that are set heavy, where you need to build sets, right? I mean, in that kind of story, the sets will take precedence, okay? Then there are certain other stories that are more drama-ish, for want of a better word, where you don't have to build, you know, these expensive sets. You don't have to somersault cars and things like that, where it's just the focus is on the story, the focus is on the actors, and then so you have to find a balance. But at the end of the day, the story takes precedence. The focus must be on the story and not on the money, right?
Okay.
If you think about money, you'll get it wrong. You'll sacrifice the story. If you focus on the story, right, and then your focus is find a way to tell the story the best way possible. It's possible that you can look at the actors and you can actually even come to some sort of agreement, okay, where you say, for example, I mean, we've done it, where, okay, this is your normal fee. I can't afford to pay you this fee now.
Yeah.
Can we work out something, right? Because I need your performance for the story, right? And then my point is, you can always find a way around some of these things, but the focus should always be on the story.
Is that what you did with The Origin, Madame
Oh, yes.
Koikoi story? Okay.
There are certain actors which, at the time, we couldn't afford. You know, I mean, if you see the movie, you see some of the really big names. Some of the biggest names.
Doyle was in it.
Ireti Doyle, Chioma Chukwuka, Adeyemi Okolanwo, Baja Debule, and you know, award-winning Omomi Dada. You know, you have all these people there. I mean, as you're looking at them walking in, your budget is just going up. You know.
Understandably so. So now we're speaking about. I mean, I like the fact that we're talking a lot about finance, considering your background, right? So now we're talking about the talents that we need for certain productions now. So now, does this influence? I know, yeah, of course, we look at the track record of some of these actors. You want them in your movie. For some people will say for publicity reasons, right? And all of that. So now, as an alternative to literally maybe cutting down budgets, right? Would you consider, I mean, going for raw talents, like a talent hunt type of situation, in order to find those people that probably
would interpret the story
exactly
properly.
that will still interpret the story amazingly well, but are not so known. So now that's one arm of that question. Now the other arm of the question is, okay, now of course I saw it's on Netflix, right?
Yes,
I
on
saw
Netflix.
that on Netflix not too long ago. Now talking about find the rates. Talking about the economy, the way it's fluctuating up and down, everything. But then again, most of the people collecting these movies, most of the platforms collecting these movies are international. So then again, the money is rolling in, not in Naira right now. Of course, when you're producing here, you're producing in Naira. But then again, when you're getting your returns, you're getting it in the foreign currency. So does that kind of balance out?
So filmmaking is a very risky business.
Yes.
Okay, so for every Nigerian film you see on Netflix, there are at least 1,000 films that have been made that will never get there.
Of course.
Actually, a lot more than that, right? So I needed to mention this because we usually focus on the successes. We focus, oh, Black Book, this Mami Water, The Origin, and we're like, oh, but that's not the norm, okay? That's not the norm. We made this film last year. By December last year, the film was ready. But see how long it took.
Yeah.
Yes. So I have bank loans, servicing interest.
And yeah, of course, that's
Yes.
as well.
Exactly. So it's not a straightforward question like that. Okay. So as your costs, you think you finish making a movie and your costs are done? No. So as your costs keep going on, so we got lucky. Essentially, we got lucky that we were able to monetize it with Netflix.
Yeah.
So imagine if we had to go to Nigerian cinema in this economy, right? No, we would have made, I mean, by now I would have been packing my bags and going back to the village.
Now let's focus a little bit on the story now.
Yeah.
Let's zoom in on the actual production of this movie.
Yeah.
To be honest, when I saw it on Netflix, I was looking for what to watch. When I saw the cover, I said, no, not tonight.
Not tonight.
They're not tonight. So there were some really, because I remember, back to school, Madam Koi, it was a thing that was, because I went to boarding school.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to relive those memories now and all of that. So now tell them the intricacies, the challenges, shooting a movie like this with the depth of the story. What
was it like?
Okay, so it was extremely challenging. I mean, I won't lie. We had to recreate 1991, 1971, 1976,
Oh, really?
and 1948.
Wow.
Yes. So we had to find locations that, as much as possible, looked very old. So we had to go shoot in Abeokuta, right? And apart from shooting in Abeokuta, we had to build sets. So when the part 2 comes out, you see certain sets. Everything you see, we built.
was built.
Yes.
So there's a part 2. So I'm actually even more interested in the research of the original story.
Yes.
How did you get
How
that
did you
out?
get there?
Now, I mean, before we came on, on air, she was asking me, is it real?
Yes.
But you went to boarding school.
Yes, I did.
Then I should be asking you.
No, I'm saying, so how
My own sister said
Yeah.
she has heard Madam Koikoi. I know so many people. I mean, if online you see so many people saying, oh, this happened to me in my school. I almost died. I can't watch this film because of childhood trauma. Incidentally, this story is also very popular in Ghana.
Yes.
Very
There are a
popular
lot of African
in
countries
a lot of
that
African
can-
countries.
yeah, can relate with
They
it,
have
yeah.
different versions of this story. So you asked me that question. I will ask you another question. Is Vladimir Dracula, the
Real.
vampire, is it real?
Oh, okay.
People, it is.
Some people.
Or
yeah.
do you think it's a creation of Hollywood?
So the story
okay.
you guys created this movie off now, was it
Is
a
it fiction?
fiction?
So a lot of the stories are from people's experiences.
Okay.
Right? Different aspects of it, when you watch the film, different aspects of the story of the film are from people's lived experiences. But I have never met Madame Koikoi, right?
Well, at least you've heard about her.
Oh, I had. I mean, I used to hide under the bed when my elder sisters would be talking about, you know, their scary experiences, you know, growing up. Yeah. So, I mean, I have never met the myth. I've never seen the blood and the shoe and, you know, I've never heard the sound. But at the end of the day, you know, watch it and make of it what you will.
What you will. All right. We have breakfast ready for you.
Yeah, we do.
We have to head over to the kitchen right now.
Okay, so shall we please?